What is up, guys? I'm Kyle at Fortune. Today we're putting a ton of lights on the Colorado. So in the last video we got all of the controller and the panel stuff mounted to the truck, and now it's time to get all the lights on there and get them wired up. So I usually think this is the less fun part, but when we're all done it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to take it out and see how all the lights are going to do. So really what we have is a mix of a bunch of light pods, and then we have a huge 40-inch light bar. So without going any further into it, let's just check out all the products we have. Almost all of these light pods are from the same company. It is 3E on Amazon. They are a 3x3 cube with 4 LEDs in them. Almost all of them are white, but in the bumper I have 2 pairs of amber in there. I don't have any experience with these lights, but a lot of great reviews and a lot of good pictures that people posted showed me that these lights do put out a ton of light at night. So it's something I'm willing to try out, and they were pretty inexpensive, especially compared to some of their counterparts. So I decided, why not? We'll give these things a try. So we're running these lights in our front bumper, ditch lights, and our rear bumper. So with the amber lights, my real plan with those was to use those mostly during the daytime, believe it or not. When you're on the trail and you're going through the trees or, winding turns, it can get kind of close with the other trucks out there. People can be speeding around, and I like to have some lights on, usually my headlights up until this point, just to let people know I'm out there and kind of slow down when coming around those turns. So that's the primary use for those amber lights for me. Another reason why people like to go with these amber lights is for different conditions on the trail. One of those can be really dusty conditions, and you'll see a lot of people use amber lights even behind them to let people know where they are, even though they're in front of them, or so you can let other people know if you're behind them. Another time is when it's snowy out. So a lot of people have experienced this with snow or fog. You go to use your bright white lights and you actually get a bunch bouncing off. A lot of people say that these amber lights help cut through that snow or the fog, and it doesn't bounce back at you as much. So that's another reason why we got those. The real star we have the lighting on this truck is the Rough Country curved 40-inch Cree light bar. Now this thing has a lot of good reviews. You can find this one on Amazon too, and honestly this is the brightest light bar I've ever ran, hands down. Really great looking light. It's the black model, which means the background is black. That's pretty much it. Hopefully it will kind of match the rest of the lights I have. Comes with a big wiring harness to get everything from the roof down to the engine bay, some switches, relays. Don't think we're gonna need most of this, but really awesome that it comes with it if you don't have it. And then these are some silencers. Apparently you can put these on the back and it helps with making the wind noise a little bit less. So here I have some double-sided tape from Gorilla Glue that is obviously really strong just outside of the windshield, and I'm using it to stick this power cord for the light bar on. For all of these wires, I'm connecting them pretty much just by stripping them, twisting them together, folding them over on themselves, and then putting double heat shrink on them. So a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like to use the butt connectors or solder the wires together. Honestly, I think the soldering takes too long, and I think the butt connectors aren't very reliable. When I was wiring up the Samurai, I ended up having to go through the entire thing because at the end it wasn't working. Turned out to be a faulty butt connector. I crimped it. The metal just wasn't touching the wire, and that ground was preventing me from getting the whole system to work. So it was very frustrating, and from then I decided I'm not using those anymore. And really, if you double heat shrink these wires after you twist them together, I mean, you can try it yourself. If you pull them apart, they don't come. It takes a lot of force to pull them like that. And let's be realistic, there isn't going to be anything pulling on these wires. Another cool thing about these lights is that they all have this quick disconnect clip. Now, for a lot of people running some of the cheaper or more budget-friendly lights, those have a connection that just ends at 2 bare wires. So once you do wire those up, there's no real way to disconnect them. Say if they're on their bumper and you need to take your bumper off. The rear lights are pretty self-explanatory, but one cool thing that I was looking forward to is whenever my backup camera is going, throwing these on manually and seeing how much it lights up. And they're actually so bright, like most of the lights, that on the camera it just looks like a big circle on the ground, but man, it just lights up everything. Don't have to worry about my camera getting washed out because I can't see anything. So that's awesome. Every once in a while there's something with your truck and you're like, I don't know why the engineers did that, but I don't like it. Well, for once, it's the good kind. I don't know why they did it, but I do like it a lot. And what it is, these little drain ditches right here. I don't know why they are so big, but it's pretty awesome because it allows both these huge plugs to just hang out in there and not get hit by anything. So it's the same on the other side too. And it made routing these cables a lot easier. So a closer look at this light bar up here, you can see we've got more of a flood on this outboard section, and then the inboard is all spot. So that's perfect if you've ever had a light mounted up this high on your truck, or you know, maybe even a ditch light right here pointing forward. Especially on a light truck like this, it tends to bounce off the hood and have a big splash. So the way I minimize that is by going with a spot rather than a flood. These ones do splash a little bit on the hood, and of course this is the brightest light bar I've ever owned, so that thing definitely does. The routing for this, like I was saying, is pretty awesome because the cable just comes out of the light bar on the top here. I just have it zip tied to the rack, and then I put that double-sided Gorilla Glue tape down the windshield right here, and then you can see right here it's a little bit tucked under the windshield, and this thing's in there really tight. I tried to trim the glue a little bit right here, so it did get a little messy in there. I'm thinking what I can do if I really get bugged by it later, I can just put a really thin bead of some black silicone down there to cover that up, but honestly it's just like a cosmetic thing. It's not a big issue at all. Alright, so that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I'm pretty satisfied with this install, and I feel like I've got a ton of light on the truck, so when we're out at night I don't have to worry about not having enough of it. Plus we probably have some more options coming to help the truck get some of those blind spots filled up. Almost all of these options are on Amazon, so look down in the description. I've got a link to all of them, so if you want to check it out, click those. If you're interested in seeing where this Colorado build goes, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.